dropping knowledge on Grambo grows. Talking about plants and how they go. Let's go. From seeds to the cure, we always smoke pure. Nothing but good vibes up in here. We blaze the ganja, keep it fire. Grambo grows, burning desire. Learn about cultivation, step by step. You can rock out the negativity. Cannabis vibes up in here. Grambo grows, lines up here. Grow, I bring you life.
Nothing but good vibes up in here. Grambo grows. Welcome everybody to the late night smoke. If you found this and you're into cannabis, you're in the right place. This is the home of all things late night cannabis, smoking, growing, token. I think token's the same as growing, but you know, it's been an insane week. I'm so stoked to be here with you guys. It's been nothing but chaos. I've been modulating my edibles intake. I've been modulating my caffeine intake. Got back to working out. Oh man, it's been absolute craziness, but just got off talking with nice guy Kenny. He is harvesting. It's good to see the family. Like he's back. He's so stoked. Literally before I pressed go on this, Kenny texted me pictures of his grow. We're also stoked for him. Congratulations, nice guy Kenny, back in the swing of things. And a special shout out to Grow Under the Stairs. I've been having a rough week. It's been mentally exhausting, physically exhausting, and he's been going through it too. So everyone go over to Grow Under the Stairs, give him some love over there on Instagram or on his YouTube, and let him know Grambo said hi. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I every week I get messages saying that the shadow banning in cannabis is real. That is a thing that happens to all of us, and people always be like, how do I join? And I'm always like, I don't know, there's a join button, man. And then literally like Grizz Grows sent me a screenshot of the homepage and the join button's gone. So if you guys decide you want to join, right up here in the top corner there's a pinned comment. That's the join thing. It's Jimmy. And first of all, shout out to LJ Jones. He is the all-star Graham Borg member of all time. Pretty much half of my members, all gifted by LJ Jones. Thank you. So all of you guys give loves to LJ Jones. If you are Graham Borg and you were gifted a sub, it is a 90% chance it was from him. This man is dishing them out. He's making it rain up here in the late night smoke, and I can't respect it enough. Yes, Norma G, and shout out to Norma G. We got me and Scotty and Dude got to hang out with Norma G over on the AC Infinity podcast on Monday. If you guys missed that, check that live later. It was super fun. I'm the third wheel. It was really Scott and Dude, but Scott invited me. He's like, Grambo, pipe in anytime that you want to hang out. So, and every now and then I had an interesting comment, and I have to give a shout out to Lambo Drive Zambo. There's another Zamboni driver in the cannabis world. That's insane. That's when I was on the road with my buddy PJ Johnson doing comedy, he would always bring me up. He'd be like Grambo no Lambo. We got to get this man a Lambo. So he'd always say, follow him on Instagram because Grambo needs a Lambo. So yeah, I'm for all you guys that didn't know, I drove a Zamboni for 7.5 years at an ice rink in Des Moines, Iowa. And all the kids called me Gramboni, just throwing that out there. So guys, it's been a technological chaos. The amount of stress and money and time and energy we all throw at producing this stuff, it's nothing but foibles all the freaking time. And we figured it out. So thank you guys for hanging out with us, for figuring out that little technological glitch there. And we got my one of my closest friends in the whole wide world, the guy who put me on in this world, the reason that you're hearing my voice right now in the cannabis media game. I was out doing comedy. I was touring the road. I was, doing what I need to do, and having a blast doing it. And when I got back to Denver, I said, man, I need to when I get back to Denver, I'm going to make a concerted effort to not have to grind the road and figure out a way to pay my rent using my skills. And literally that week, Sean Guru of the Dude Grows Show decided he was going to go do fishing guide tours and he was going to dip out of the cannabis media scene the same week I got back, the same week. So I don't know what's going on with it. There's some weirdness. Shout out to Maestro. He's the guy before Grambo was Guru and before Guru was Maestro. So shout out to Jay Maestro. Those of you that are Dude Grows fans that don't know about Maestro because you weren't there in the very, very beginning, or you're new to the scene, shout out to Maestro. And mainly shout out to the bakery boss himself. He's having, I can see down in my little screen, he's having a calm down session and dealing with all this technological stuff.
Yo, what's up, man?
Man, where's your producer? You're having all these technological problems. Don't you pay someone to deal with this shit?
Yeah, I sure do, and I miss them, man. I'm using my mobile rig right now, playing around, and I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. So far so good.
So far
coming in okay.
Good. I always tell people that in this line of work, the work is not the problem. The problem is all the crap that shouldn't be happening. Muted tabs, weird glitches with the internet. You've got two different forms of internet over
there. You know, damn, man, I actually give a shit. So I went out and got a backup internet. I got Starlink as my backup internet. And just because you give a shit doesn't mean you're going to be rewarded, man. Okay. It doesn't mean everything's still going to go smooth. So anyway, I'm working it out. But man, I really do enjoy hanging out with you, Grambo. You really got a knack for this stuff. I love catching your shows. So, man, glad to hang out and smoke a joint with you, man.
Well, I'm stoked to have the legendary ScottyReal420. You're out there. You are me and you. I told you in a text when you're like, oh, I'm hanging out with Chad Westport. This doesn't, your coughing to the side doesn't work. You can't hide from the face tracker.
I know.
PGI.
What the hell do I do? How do I fix that,
tracking.
man? Don't get me started, dude. Don't get me started.
So I told Scott
need you here, man. Yes.
We're the most overexposed dudes in cannabis, me and you. I love it. Couldn't be a better. We're the hardest working. People always think I work hard, and I go, Scotty does more than me, man. He runs Real Growers and a Real Grow Lab over and the Real DGC and the Dude Grows. ScottyReal420. You're over with Chad Westport. You're over here. You're over there. You do more than me, man.
Sometimes I have a bamboo company too. It takes me about
bamboo plants
a couple hours a week. Yeah, it's a trip though, man. You know, you ever think about that? Like all the lives you've had, as far as, you know, man, I've had a life living, you know, in boots as a bamboo grower. I had a life driving around from fucking grow house to grow house. You know what I mean? All these, I had a life trying to work a legitimate job before I realized how bad that was.
Yeah. We all have everyone in the bakery has one thing in common. We're unemployable other than what we do.
Yes. Man, I was surprised that working was really that bad. I don't know how people do it. I'm just
it's the same thing. I think a lot of people would say, I don't know how we do. I'm a ham for the cam. You know, you put a camera on me, I come alive. You know, it's just one of the things that I love to do. And then, you know, some people are like, dude, I'm terrified. Literally, we always poke fun at Nice Guy Kenny. You put Nice Guy Kenny on the camera, he just like freezes. What a charismatic, fun-loving, fun-talking dude. You put a camera on him, he just clams.
Yeah, he just needs to get used to it, I think. Nice Guy Kenny, it looks so much like Fetterman. People now stop him in the store, and he goes, yeah, I know. He goes, you know who you look like? And he goes, Fetterman. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but Fetterman's he's not the most attractive guy. Kenny's a handsome fellow, so I say he's hot Fetterman.
Handsome Fetterman. That should be his handle, right?
Onlyfetterman.com.
Yes. Hey, I was just over my mother-in-law's house, and you want to talk? She made dinner. I had to scurry home, but Sunday dinner, and at the end of it, she brings out brownies and laser cat carts. She's like, can you get my cart unclogged? She smokes. She is just, I love the fact that she's a legit stoner. And I would say I turned her into a stoner, but I just introduced her to weed. And whether you're a school teacher for 25 years or, you know, whatever, man, fucking, you can still love weed.
Yes, that's one of the
Which he
things that I
does.
always she becomes like the mascot for me of like cannabis, like the media like changing things. I always will cite Will and Grace. They say in the LGBT community, Will and Grace helped change the perception of gay guys, and it was just kind of like being like aware of it, exposed to it. And she used to kind of, not like totally run you through the ringer, but when you met Mrs. Real, she kind of bust your balls a little bit about being a grower and all these sort of things. And so the
Wasn't
fact that
her,
she's
man.
smoking the laser cat, come
It
on.
was her husband, man. And you know what? Her husband said to me, he goes, look, I don't give a shit about you growing weed. I don't think anything wrong with it. I just don't want you going to jail. You know what I mean? Because I, married his wife. She's about to have a kid. Married his wife.
Yeah.
The weed works, man. All right. I married his
The weed
daughter.
works.
All right.
What are you smoking on there, ScottyReal? You got a big old Bahama Mama joint?
Man, I'm smoking on my own homegrown, and I have a bucket of homegrown. I'm smoking on my this is emergency right here. But
Oh man, one of my favorites.
Let's talk about this for a second, because I want to congratulate nice guy Kenny. He just harvested, or you were just congratulating him, right? Just came down with a beautiful harvest. I think it was a 4x8, if I'm not mistaken. Something very simple, But what the hell do you do with all the weed now?
Well, you gift it out if you live in certain places, and if you live where we live, you turn it into half.
You know what I'm saying, though? We've got buckets of weed, man, buckets of it. Damn, this camera is driving me nuts.
I know you can't hide from it. Shout out to to be blunt. Awesome podcast over there. And he says smoke it. Of course we're smoking it. That's what we're doing over here. But yeah, Turpicana Kyle. First of all, thank you, Kyle, for the 10 gift subs. He just dropped 10 memberships in chat. That costs real money, ScottyReal. So shout out to you, Turpicana Kyle. Thanks for the gift subs and thanks for turning. Scott has more dabs than like any of us could ever smoke in like a year. Could you think you could smoke all that in a year?
Is hash real money, man?
It's real money.
Dude, here's the jar. This jar came 3/4 filled, man. Whoops. Damn, this camera, man. I might have to, but it says 355 grams right there.
Oh my
God. So I was going to give it away. I don't want to be goofy, but I really do think I'm going to give a bunch of it away at the DGC Cup. Gifting weed is fun as all hell, man.
And while we're on the subject, dgccup.com, it's one of those things I always tell people think like, oh, the tickets are kind of expensive. And I go, dude, we don't make a dime on this. Literally, we put every single penny into like making it the best. Yeah. Dude is modulating it day to day. Like, how big of a tent can we afford? What can we do? And so come to the DGC Cup. We want to meet you guys.
Yeah, man. When shit's expensive is when you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, meaning like, dude, we do this once a year. You know what I mean? We're not professional promoters, but dude, and it is on him, man. We throw a hell of a party. That's the best party I've ever thrown in my life. If I were to go and see 20-year-old Scotty and be like, yo, you want to see what kind of party you'll be throwing in your 50s, man? And I'd be pretty proud, man. Yeah,
it would be pretty sick.
But every year it's getting better, man.
My first cup was 2017, way before I hooked up with you guys, October 2022. And so 2017, 5 years before I worked with you guys, that was my first DGC Cup. It was down in Denver. It was amazing. It was so cool. And one of my favorite moments, my buddy Sean, he's like, oh, there's Dude and Scott. You should go say hi. And I was like, nah, I don't want to bother him. I'll meet him in my own way. And then like, shit, that worked out.
Yeah, man, you act like it was an act of luck that you got this gig. And I do like to tell the story just because it is all about your ambition anymore. The skills are out there for you to take. If you want to learn video editing, you can do it at night while smoking weed. Whatever you want to learn, you can, man. So it's about applying yourself, and it's about having the fucking balls to say, I'm good enough. I can't help it. I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me, man. No, but seriously, to get up there and raise your hand, or shove your way in line and to the front of the line and make it all happen. So I just want to, it's my stoned motivation for the day, but you can be your future, man. You
gotta be the change.
Make your future.
My line is always be the change you want to see, man. Be the change. And I wanted you guys to, I love the Dude Grows show for a long, long time. Since, like I said, I might be after J Maestro, after Dr. J, after JR Token. I think I might be.
Here it comes. Here it comes, Maestro.
I think. Hey, Instagram, thank you for the 5.
I love it. What do you say? Episode 9? Hookstagram? Hookstagram. I have to know what that means, man.
Yeah, what's it mean, Hookstagram? It would be a good Instagram alternative. Like it's hookah. It's all hookahs you smoke over there. People always say, there's this thing people always say, I wish there was a cannabis social media where there wasn't censorship. And I go, there is. It's realdgc.com. And we essentially created a social media over there. A banner has created us a social media.
It is, man. It's social. Do you get social, brother?
Not really.
Hey, man. Can we ask the chat or the crew, man? I'm curious. I was over my mother-in-law's house, man, and I seen that cart that she had, and I was like, why can't you just, I don't know, man. Do you get rosin carts or resin carts? The rosin ones, man, it looks like you could just make them. It looks like you could just get a cheap cart, or a $5 cart, unscrew it. And if you got some runny, I guess, no, the BHO actually is really running. And Kyle's in here. He can tell us, but I was thinking about just pouring that stuff in some of those, carts. Is it as easy as that to make a cart?
I think so, with that super terpy stuff. Cause like it fractionates, right? It gets a little crystally towards the bottom and it gets real thin and terpy at the top. Yeah. I think if it pours, Scotty, you're bringing out all the big dogs today. Cody Whitaker dropping 5 gift subs. People can give away memberships, so they can buy memberships for other people. It's pretty crazy. And so,
what do I get with the membership, man? What do I get? What do I get for $5?
Well, you get a post show every single week, a bunch of different content, and the fact that you support one of the hardworking content creators here on YouTube. I was supposed to go to Spain, but I chickened out. I was going to bring everyone there.
Who's your favorite, man? Come on. Do you give any money to any content creators?
There's only one content creator I subscribe to, and it's Dude Grows on Patreon. I'm not even on the right. I should be on realdgc.com. But
hey, chat.
What's funny? You know why I joined Patreon? Like legit, not just because I want to support the team and everything. Because the only way I could see Brett's grow was on Patreon, because we couldn't post his grow anywhere. This was before Real DGC, where now we can all see the dude's grow. But yeah, dude hung up all those Diablos, and he has those wheelie carts and everything. Dude's got a nice grow. You and the dude got nice grows, bro.
Yes, man.
And on that subject, since you brought it up, what people get with the membership, me and Church of Cannabis Nate are going to start meeting up on Tuesday. And we're going to do like video game streaming, like Twitch streaming, but on YouTube. It's going to be cannabis themed. It's Church of Cannabis meets Dude Grows. And we're going to hang out every week just for the members, play video games, talk about weed, shoot the shit. I don't know if anyone's going to be into that, but the kids like the video games, and Nate's super into it. So my Nate, Church of Cannabis Nate, I think this Tuesday, we're going to try the first one. So they're going to get hours of bonus content. Good time to be Gramborg.
Hey, man, the adults are in the video games, too. You're going to have to pardon me, man. The first real weed I've spoke today. My wife did whatever. She works her butt off, man. So every 2 weeks we have a cleaning lady come, and she does the floors and shit. But you always got to clean up for the cleaning lady. And dude, she took all my smoking devices. They were on the counter. She took every one of them, and she goes, I thought I put them in a drawer somewhere. It's been like 48 hours. This was Friday, man. They're all freaking gone, man.
Oh my God.
I'm a little confused.
She flushed.
No, but I mean, like, I can come back and take a dab or smoke a joint. So I really hadn't smoked I hit that laser cat pen at my mother-in-law's, but I smoked this joint and keep me grounded, Grambo.
It's the truth. Man. I took a little I stopped with the edibles this week, and then I took a little tolerance break from the dabs, and we had our buddy Chip Baker on, and he was rolling those big old fucking hog leg joints.
Ah,
That kind of got me back on flower this week, and so it's been great. Yo, look who walks in! Chad Westport's in the house.
oh, love that guy, man. Seriously, hey, who are you? I was we were talking about content creators that we'd pay to support. Since we got the chat, man, let us know, man. Who are some content creators? Doesn't have to be cannabis either, man. There's Vertasium I listen to. 2-Bit Da Vinci is a really, something like, I like Jones for like Discovery Channel kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff that you can listen to and at least won't make you dumber. When we talk about molten salt reactors, Grambo. No, but seriously, the Pilot Debrief is my favorite non-cannabis show. It's like murder porn for dudes. You know what I mean? Like chicks like murder stuff, man. We all like seeing planes crash.
Look at this. Smoke a lot of potamus is Veritasium's though. You know what's funny? I watched a Veritasium video today. I was curious.
Really?
The rover on Mars has a helicopter that goes with it, and it just recently died. And I was curious about the story of like, they took a piece of the Wright brothers airplane and like sewed it to this helicopter that sent to Mars. So a piece of it took 150 years from the first flight, or maybe less, like 100 years, 75. I don't even know how many years. Let us know in the chat. Smoke a lot of potamus. I'm also stoned and starting to forget. It's crazy,
dude.
We're flying.
But I was thinking the same. Listen, they freaking had what? I think Henry Ford was doing the the Model T and whatnot in 1902. In 1919, Einstein did the theory of relativity. In 1939, they freaking did a chain reaction. They were splitting the atom and lighting up light bulbs with it. Dude, that was like, think about what a 1939 car looked like. That's
Model
freaking
T, right?
insane, dude. It's just insane how crazy shit got, man. How fast things. What did I say? It's all speeding up here in the end, Grambo, isn't it?
You know what I found interesting? There's two groups of people that are talking about things like deep space and quantum mechanics. It's the smartest people on Earth and stoners.
You're so
for the two groups,
right, man.
It's so funny. And so
that's who used to do Discovery.
Yes, yeah, sir. Well, this brings up to our topic for tonight's show is how deep you can go into lighting science. I always say that you go from stoner to quantum mechanics in 4. If you ask why 4 times, plants like light. Why? Oh, because of chlorophyll production. Well, why does that matter? Well, because the chloroplasts take in photons. Why is that? Because light is a packet's quanta.
Let's do it. You just like you did. Me and you can hang out for 5 minutes and break it down. And then you can go do it backwards and build a light from it. Right? But the plant takes photons, the color of they say plant can absorb, or plant use green light. The green light are the chloroplasts, right? Those are the energy producing. I mean, you hop in. I don't want it to be a lesson or whatever, but you got these little things that jiggle inside the leaf. And that's your energy right there. Those are your photosynthesis factories. And I think it takes 9 photons of light to be able to have the energy it takes to pull in 1 hunk of carbon, to rip a hunk of carbon with CO2, right? You're ripping that hunk of carbon off the oxygen. After 9 photons of energy, light's the energy, it can do that. And so you want to just make sure that your plants are the right color, so they got plenty of chloroplasts. Yeah, Chad. Yeah. He's so right, man. It's these jiggling chloroplasts, man, and they freaking grab energy, they grab carbon, they build themselves, and then the plant sends that sugar that it makes from photosynthesizing all over the place, man. So all we're trying to do is make sure that every little freaking the most efficient way we can to get the most chloroplast excited every second, right?
Yes, which makes sense of why the CO2 is there, because that's that carbon right there. And then that's why the DLI. So one of the main thing that I want to talk about tonight, DLI, you and I are light nerds. We're going deep on this. And we had a comment that kind of shook me. And it was talking about the amount of light DLI is not the amount that it can absorb in a day. It's the amount that you cast down on the day. And I was like, all right, I thought that there was a number that you needed. Turns out there is, right? And so Mr. Grow It asked me, he's like, what's your DLI? And I remember I kind of panicked and I was like, oh, I'm not growing right now. I don't want to.
It's all dark in here, man.
It's dark.
Whoa. You turn
You're a little pixelated, out, but that's going to happen. So first we should probably do a vocabulary lesson, right? So DLI, daily light integral. I'm not even sure what an integral is. I'm going to look that up. What do you think? Like DLI, talk to me about DLI.
I am so high, man. You really don't make me do science, man. Right? the light. There's I'm busting your balls, but I'm gonna try to do it more Scotty, man. It's the amount, the PPFD we talk about, right? When we measure lights and stuff, that's that photosynthetic.
And that's a great, so a vocabulary lesson, a photosynthetic photon flux density from stoner to quantum mechanics. When you drop photosynthetic twice, photosynthetic photon flux density, PPFD.
Look, I just think that's the amount of raindrops that are falling per second, light photons that are falling per second, right? And we want to make sure that there's only a certain amount of seconds in the photo period. And so we want to make sure that for every second, they're absorbing the maximum amount they can. So all DLI is just timesing, timesing the, how many seconds there are in how many seconds there are in your photo period. Basically, it's like taking your PPFD and timesing it by how many seconds are in the photo period, and in there 3,600 seconds in an hour, whatever, man. But that's what that whole crazy formula is. But I think DLI is just PPFD per, the amount of light you're getting in the plant per day, right?
So it's your PPFD, I believe, per meter squared times amount of time that the light is on there. You plug that all into an equation and you'll get a number that's like 10 to like 30, right? And so that's what kind of
higher, isn't it? Don't think I like up to, I thought it was like up to 50. I have no idea, man. I said,
it could be up to 60. Let me fact check myself.
The idea is, man, I don't invent any of this stuff. There's such great information out there. I rely on other people, but I'd say, hey, Pulse, what is the ideal DLI for veg? And it'll give you a number. It'll be 28 or something like that. And then you kind of just do the math, or really you let the formula do the math. You let the interwebs do the math for you, Grambo, and you come up with a number, and it just makes it a shitload easier. You're like, okay, man, my number's 24. And I'm giving this plant as much light as it theoretically should be able to absorb.
Yes. So you take that, what it is moles. We all talk micromoles, but a mole is 1,000th of a micromole is 1,000th of a mole. And then so you take your moles times metered square of canopy space in our thing times a day. Minimum would be about 30. Average would be about 45. And then for high performance growing, 50 plus. So that would be when you do, but you're going to need a calculator. You're not going to do your moles times meter squared times hours. I mean, maybe Maestro would. Maestro, give us the numbers.
Yeah, I was going to say, who do you think is more F-viewing their TV right now, man? Their computer, Maestro or Chad, man? These guys. Don't mind us, man. We're just having fun.
Maestro's a beast. Not only does Maestro has all the answers. Plus, then, like, I was like, remember the DGC Cup was somewhere in Denver. He's like, oh, is it so-and-so art gallery? Maestro, how the hell do you remember that?
Hey, Grambo, man. So PPFD and all that shit, but doesn't it really matter? Because I was just trimming my plants, and I've been learning that I think it also has to do with defoliating and the shape of your plants, because all this shit is about how much light energy a leaf can absorb, or whatever that little, whatever that chloroplast.
It's your analogy. It's the bucket. It's a bucket. Yes. So you want to create as many buckets as possible.
So what do you do? Are you trimming leaves off? It really does. The shape of your canopy now really is a big deal, because all that light, if it's, what did it say, through a meter squared, if you don't have really good, light penetration, if you're not exposing that light to a lot of leaf surface area, that ain't doing nothing either. You can have all the damn light you want, man, if you got a little Christmas tree growing in there.
Right. Yeah, that's why those Christmas trees do so well in the sun. I believe the sun's like a 2000 ppfd. We run about 1,000 to 1,200 in our gardens. And that's what I directly learned from you about the carbon and the CO2 was as the ppfd increases, that's when CO2 becomes viable. If you're running like 600 ppfd or 800 ppfd, don't even worry about CO2. It's literally just wasted. And then as you ramp that ppfd up, now you're going to ramp up that CO2 to start supplying because it's hungrier. It can take more in.
It's not a competition, Grambo. It's a cooperation.
Yes. There is no way to greatness.
Come on, man. You don't know that guy?
Way.
That's the best guy on the internet, man. Spirit of truth, man. Spirit of truth.
Spirit of truth. Spirit of truth.
Oh, come on. You're a comedian. You're the cable guy. You don't know Spirit of truth, man?
Well, I'm not the cable guy for the internet.
You can't be. Nobody can be. I Google it, man.
It's so hard to Google it. I literally Googled it. And like, I'll shout out to Dutch Lighting Innovations. The Jug Dealers crew have that Dutch Lighting Innovations. Right. I typed in DLI lighting and they have paid or something to outrank the lighting company outranks the definition. How silly is that?
The Spirit of Truth is the preacher that's preaching and he's got a phone book in his hand. You remember that guy?
Oh, is he the like from the 90s or 2000s guy?
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
The Spirit of Truth, baby.
Yeah. One of the funnest things about knowing ScottyReal personally, because people always ask me when I'm out, like, what's Scotty like? What's the dude like? It's like, well, I don't know the dude. Like, funnily enough, I think I met the dude for the 6th time. I can count on 2 hands how many times I've met Brett in real life.
Oh, yeah.
And so we hung out this last week in the bakery, but I know you very well. And if I was going to tell like something that surprises people about Scott, he has the most bizarre A, sense of humor, and B, interest. You go from like studying about plant science to like, you'll send me, I don't even know what I can say online. The videos that you'll send to me of like weird people playing weird sports. I don't even know. Did we lose him? I'm the cable guy for movies and television, but I'm definitely not the cable guy for anything else. We will, I told Topicals Kyle that if Scott's internet was getting funky, we'd bring in Kyle. So you never know if the internet's going to go back. Kyle, if you're listening, you never know. We might need you to pop in and talk DLI with us. So while Scotty's frozen there, I'll bring me back to the full screen and just say it's one of those things. If you guys don't understand PPFD, it's the amount of light that's hitting your canopy. And like Scott said, plant shaping is as important as anything. Yeah, I sent you the link, Kyle. Why don't you pop in? We'll make it a dirty 3-way once Scotty gets back. And so it's very, very interesting that the whole CO2 thing, it's once you get to a certain amount, I would have thought as a grower before I got with Dude Grows and everything, I would have thought that like, even if you just had like a little fluorescent light or something, I thought I would have been like, well, yeah, CO2 is going to make your plant better. Run that. You got to run CO2. And when you actually learn about it, yeah, we're going to get a growing Eiffel Tower, Sicko, you son of a bitch. Shout out to you, Canalisa. And I suppose there's a good opportunity real quick to give lots of shout outs. LJ Jones with 5 gift subs. LJ Jones with 5 gift subs. Craig Dew, returning member. Topicals Kyle dropping the 10. He didn't have to do that, but he did. Then LJ Jones comes back with another 5. Hookstergram with another 5. And then you know who comes back for another one? LJ Jones with another 5. And then our buddy CW, as I call him, Cody Whittaker. Seriously, thank you guys so much. And like I said, it's going to be a lot of cool content coming. Me and Church of Cannabis, Nate. That's some of you might have seen. I've been posting stuff about my grow on the what do they call it? The community. They used to call it the community tab on YouTube, but now they call it just call it posts. So if you don't see my posts in your posts, then come over there and check those out. We got them back.
Man, I'm having such a good time. I think the internet knows that, man. We're stacking it.
We have a theory about certain billionaires don't like us, and I think they're effing with us. Certain people, everything we do, it just it goes against what they want.
I wish a billionaire knew who I was, man. I don't think anybody,
Right.
even if they hated me, that'd be cool.
Well, they have machine
I
learning
really don't,
systems.
man.
They don't know who we are, but their machine learning systems know who we are. We're on the list. We've been numbered.
Man, I was talking to my buddy a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, shit, did I lose you again?
No, you're here.
Oh, sorry. And he was talking about like wanting to be rich and be a billionaire and stuff like that. And we were sitting at this cafe, and I was like, dude, could you, in a cafe, whatever, sitting at a bar outside. And I'm like, if you were a billionaire, you could have $1 billion, you wouldn't be able to sit out here and drink a beer without everybody acting weird towards you, right? And everywhere, I don't know, it's just like a weird thought experiment.
There's a video of who's the guy that runs Apple, fucking whatever his name is. There's a video of him, Tim Cook.
Yeah, Tim Cook.
And there's a video of him going into a bar, and he's kind of conceited, and he's like looking around, expecting to be reacted to. And no one gives a fuck or even looks at him.
That's awesome.
I met I met Robert Trujillo from Metallica. He's the bass player for Metallica.
Yep.
And so I met him back in the day. He was the roadie for. He was the bass player for Black Label Society, and I got to roadie for Black Label Society for a couple gigs. They had some guys fall through, and me and my homeboy Garen from way back in the day, we roadie for him. Well, the first time I met him, I'm literally at a Black Label Society venue getting ready to like hang out with this dude, and I literally am looking at him, and I go, hey, are you Robert? And he goes, nah. And I go, oh, okay, because you look just like this guy. And if he wouldn't have copped to that he was Robert Trujillo, I wouldn't even believe him. So you don't necessarily know. You just be like, oh boy, that guy looks a lot like billionaire ScottyReal.
But first off, I did see Bill Gates standing in line for a slice of pizza a couple of days ago on the internet. As a matter of fact, what was weird is the next day after I had that conversation, like Facebook was listening and decided to show me that picture. But kind of trippy, man. Chad Westport says it all, though, man. I mean, porn store or billionaire with ED. Choose one. You got to work at the porn shop, broke as hell, or you can be a billionaire with ED. But you work at the porn store, at least you're around chicks, right?
$1 billion can't fix your wang. We've got the technology. We can rebuild him.
You know what it is, man? Sometimes people think that money is gonna solve every problem, and that's all you need. And I seen it's like almost a curse, just having enough so you can afford to pay your bar tab and be generous tipping. I think is
Scott will always send me another one of the ScottyReal like weird things that you'll get. Scott will send me a Miley Cyrus song called The Climb. And he goes, Grambo, don't ever fantasize too far about like what you want to be. Right now, statistically, is the funnest time when you just got enough to pay the bills. You got just enough people that love you to feel like, I'm doing something, and you're not panicked about it.
Every day you're getting a little better than the next day. I'm getting a little bit better at growing, and I'm understanding it, and I get to get a little bit better at building the community, and then all this kind of stuff, and then it's exciting. It sucks if I don't know. It's great when you go to bed and you wake up excited about the next day because you're going to learn something else, something new and exciting.
It is
the climb, bro.
Things that, yes. So we talked about our buddy Turpicana Kyle. When you were having internet issues, I was like, Kyle, he was literally sitting there. I was like, pop in and let's hang out. I didn't think you'd be adverse to kicking it with Kyle for a little bit. So we'll bring in Kyle.
What's up, guys?
I love this guy, man. What's going on, brother?
Look at this clean.
I know. I shaved, man. I know.
He's a baby.
Sometimes you have to. I was a Wook last year at the DGC Cup, so
I don't recognize non-Wook Kyle.
I know, right?
Hey.
I sometimes you got to clean it up, man, and then grow it out and do the same thing over and over again. So, what's up, Scotty? He's in and out.
Just smoking some weed, hanging out with my friends, man. With my friends, man. Enjoying the
Exactly.
bad internet.
Right? We
That's-
we don't have bad internet
Is-
often from you.
Man, I wouldn't go
Man, I
that far.
tell you. Yeah, I actually, I hooked up Starlink. I went and got the Starlink because I'm out in the mountains. Actually, where you're out in the mountains too.
I have
And,
Starlink too, and I
yeah,
have
so
no
I'm gonna
connection
try
issue.
that next.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna try it
Starlink-
next.
Distant
All right,
advice.
yeah, Grambo, what are you doing? You should come over, man.
Yeah, it's only, what's 90 minutes between friends?
No, we'll end up messing with it tomorrow. I guarantee it, brother.
Yeah, we were told it takes a little bit to get the connection to like dial in. It has to like calibrate and modulate and conternalate, phosphate.
Hey, Kyle, man. The only thing I gotta still go to the dispo and buy is carts. Man, what's the deal with carts as far as is it something that people can make that you on their own if you make right? What's the secret behind carts? And
Good
can we
question.
talk?
So I actually
Grambo,
have
did
been-
I hijack? Is it
I've-
okay, man?
Oh
Sorry,
no,
I've been-
please. This is the best.
okay.
So I've been filling a bunch of hardware from different companies. This is iCrusher. This is their box. They have a few of these that they sent me. Active 710, C-Cell, and I'm right now currently testing the best hardware. Now, depending on the oil that you use, whether it's live resin, live rosin, cured resin, you're going to be wanting a different piece of hardware. So, like with live rosin, for example, rosin will cake up and burn the wick if you have a wick in your carts or in your disposables. So you're looking more for a ceramic heating element in like the rosin version. For live resin, it's a little bit more forgiving. There's less particulate in the live resin that doesn't clog up, the wick, so to speak. Live rosin has the sugars, the fats, the lipids,
Yeah, right.
the waxes that clog everything up. So a lot of people in my community know that I've been testing out all of this hardware to see what's the best and the best price point, obviously, to the consumer. And that just is based on making a big purchase and having a minimum order quantity wholesale versus buying them individually. As far as filling them, though, you have to decarb under vacuum in order to retain the terpenes. And a lot of people will decarb their oil for pens, and they'll like get it not as good as like the actual starting extract because they don't have a vacuum oven to decarb under. So you're usually around like 160 degrees Fahrenheit under vacuum to decarb to make sure that because like the heating element inside of these pens isn't the hottest. So you're going to get separation and a bunch of other things if you don't decarb it and mix it properly. So a lot of people don't know that. With rosin pens specifically, it's a lot less forgiving. There's people who try to do it and they mess up all the time. But make sure if you're doing rosin specific pens that you're getting a pen with a ceramic heating element in it.
See, that's
So
why
you
we got to
can-
get the experts,
yeah.
Scott. I was like,
No,
yeah,
I
just
love
fill
it.
your own cart, just dump it in.
But you can, right? If you get the right cart.
So yes, but you're also going to have issues with it actually burning properly. So like I could take live resin right now and I could like get it to like more liquid form and put it in a cart, but you're going to get like sugaring in the cart and it's going to separate and kind of like it does in a jar where you have the terp layer that goes to the top. There's a specific way to do it to where it doesn't, do that. Now you can also cut them with distillate. So like our buddy Yari at the Diamond Mine, he does a percentage of distillate and then terpenes. And his are great too, but it just depends on how you want to do it. There's a million ways to skin the cat there.
So there's not going to be any home cart making kit anytime soon.
No, I think
$39.95,
you
Billy Mays.
can. You can. So you can do it at home.
Brought to you by real growers.
It's just if you're doing it professionally, there's a certain way to do it. And I could fill carts right now just with live resin that I heat up just a little bit and get it running and go from there. But you're not like the consumer is going to end up with a subpar experience as far as the separation and crystallization and things like that. So
Interesting, man. All right, man. That's I want to. It always feels silly when you got to go to the dispo and pay $50 for a gram
It's
when I
yeah.
have 50 grams sitting around.
Oh, I could turn all that stuff into carts for you. That's no problem.
No,
I'm working on the labels too. So
I
that
just mean that. Yeah, I'm working on giving all that shit away, man. It is so ridiculous.
we should talk
You
about a
know,
little bit about Hash Bash too, Scotty, because that'll be a good place to give it
Yes.
We
away.
gotta talk. We gotta talk
That's what I'm
TGC
saying,
Cup.
man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna party. Yeah, Kyle, might as well say it, man. Thank you so much, man. He came in, him and Tops, and they recommended us having a hash bash. And the day before, no, it's the day after, right, man?
It's the
The
day
day
after.
Saturday
Yeah,
is
the
the
Sunday.
flower,
Yes,
and
thank you, man.
Sunday is the hash bash.
Good. That's the way it should be, because you might knock people out at the hash bash.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, but we're doing a DGC cup that is specifically centered around hash. I don't know enough about it, but Tops and Kyle were cool enough to help us. So let's do it.
It's gonna be epic. I mean, nobody has done an event like this, especially for like the DGC community. So like we have some big things planned, and obviously the venue is perfect for what we're doing. And I was talking to Dude the other day, and he is not really a hash guy, so he has a lot of questions about
No.
how things are going to work and whatnot. But it's gonna be super cool, and I'm excited. If I know you had JLS Monster on not last week, but the week before, and he had some good suggestions. So if anybody has anything they want to see specifically, we will implement it or try our best to. So leave that in the chat, obviously.
Yeah, man, I'm curious. Actually, since we got the chat, who hash or flower? I think it's that simple, right? Leave it in the comments, hash or flower. I'm just curious because, like, Dude is a little bit older. I'm a little bit older. I would normally think that guys like us would really be in the flower. But honestly, for health reasons, you'd probably be, I think, taking a dab or two is probably easier on the lungs, no?
Yeah, I mean, so like I love flower, right? I wouldn't be where I'm at without flower. I think that extracts are fire in, fire out, right? If you don't have good flower,
Sure.
then you can't have good extracts. And like that's with your extracts as well, Scotty. Like the cherry paloma you grew was absolutely insanely fire, and it was some of the most wet extract I've ever ran. I'd say probably between 2 or 3 different strains, and it's because of the terpene content that you had in that. Is just super high, and I think that was just grow dots and recharge, right? I mean, just the most simple, keep it simple,
In
stupid,
a
as they
great
say.
environment, man.
Exactly.
In a great grow room with tons of CO2, tons of light, perfect temperature and humidity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know, shout out in the grow dots and recharge. All right, I'll shout out to them, but all that, the right amount of moisture all the time. They're getting the bottom fed. Dude, that's the key, man. All
For
working
sure.
together.
Yeah, and like flower to me is the foundation, and then extracts are kind of the skyscraper, but you wouldn't have the skyscraper without the foundation. So I look at it.
I have a very informal poll here, but
what's going on?
Is like 90%, like almost everybody.
Damn. We should have had them put how old they are too, though, man. Here's your generation, man. Are you generation
Grandpa
X?
Gross says he's
Are you millennial?
He's
yeah, I'm kind of curious if it goes by generation,
Yeah, me and Kyle are just young millennials out here just doing it up there. So one of the things that's interesting that Kyle had popped in is we had talked about DLI, the lighting company, and Kyle, you run the DLI, right?
You're
full DLI thing.
Full DLI.
Knowing Kyle is literally just knowing you is the one reason I have the cojones to stand up to the Bruce Bugby army. When he's like, UV doesn't do anything, and I go, dude, my buddy Kyle,
it does something.
He's got data.
Well, and so the UV is just to like start. So UV is very like diverse as far as grow lights. You have people that are putting out UVA mostly, a little bit of UVB spectrum, but DLI, Dutch Lighting Innovations, released a UVC light, and the UVC light is much different.
Well,
as
it's
far
full
as
spectrum,
UV.
right? It's UVA.
Well,
D stands for creepy,
it's technically UVC is what Jair sells it as, and that's a selling point in itself because all of the other lights don't have the output that this light has as far as the spectrum and as far as the brightness, right? So when these lights are on, I cannot be in the room, so I had to install a separate switch in my room to be able to turn those lights on and off when I enter or exit the room. So it's not for everybody, but the the way that it
Wait,
works basically,
can I ask?
yeah, go for it.
I got it, man. I'm so sorry. So you're not in the room when they're on? Is that what
Correct.
you said?
That's correct.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yep.
just so if everybody doesn't know, it is UVA is the kind of the safest one. Then UVB will give you a sunburn, and then UVC is those clean lights, and those are the ones they will give you cancer. They break up DNA. So yeah, the more down low you get, it's lower wavelength, and the more dangerous it gets.
Correct.
Think
So people talk shit on UV, but the real reality of it is that you have to know exactly how to use it and what it's doing. I've noticed a massive increase in my room in terpene content. So running that light, I mean, Jair says it works really well on thrips and bugs and other things. I don't have any bugs, so I haven't tested it on that. But
right.
as far as what I've seen, like my terp layers on my jars from my indoor are way more than they were before, just using the UVC lights indoors. Now if you compare that to outdoor, where the UV index where I'm at is absolutely insane, off the charts, I'm getting way more terpenes outside, obviously, but I have seen an increase, and I have the data to back that up as far as testing.
Really? You get more terpenes off of your outdoor than your indoor, huh?
Correct. Yep. It's the UV light, man. I mean, the UV light and the sun outside are unbeatable at 9,000 feet here. It's
Yeah,
How do they calculate UV index? Is that like by a percentage? Do they give you
a spectrometer, Grambo? Come on,
it's really a 1 to 10 scale as far as UV index, and it can be a little bit higher depending on who is doing it. But someone was saying there's no UVC outside. There's absolutely UVC outside.
Well, a lot of UVC doesn't reach the ground because it is filtered by the atmosphere. That's why we don't instantly get cancer.
Correct.
We,
yes, but it still exists. UVC, man. Still exists out there.
Okay, so the UV index does not calculate, because we did a little story about UV lights on our shorts channel, the Dude Grows Grow Talk. Guys, definitely follow Dude Grows Grow Talk, the shorts channel, and we talked UV, and it was 95 on the Earth's atmosphere. It's 95% or 94% UVA, 5% UVB, and under 1% UVC. And so I didn't know if they calculated it by that, but now just a 1 to 11.
Yeah,
scale.
it's one. It's
but it is. The more you go down, though, the more it gets filtered out. So
correct.
Kyle being at 9,000 feet, hell yeah, he's getting a lot of UV.
Yep. Yeah, no, like I'll put a sign out outside, like no trespassing, right? And if I don't put clear coat on that sign, the sign is completely faded within 1.5 to 2 years.
Wow.
So
hey, Moonlight doesn't have UV. Vlad the Inhaler.
Yeah, great name. One of the better online names, if I could say. Vlad the Inhaler. Shout out to you, buddy.
Well, and just speaking of Jair, so a lot of people don't understand the history of Dutch lighting and how it started. So Jair was massive at Gavita back in the day. He was, the big wig at Gavita. There's a bunch of other people involved, obviously, but what happened was I think it was like 2017 or 2018, Gavita got sold to a company that started producing all the fixtures in China, whereas before they were produced in the Netherlands. And Jair basically was part of the exit of that company, and he took the best engineers from Gavita and from Philips E. Papillon to start Dutch Lighting Innovations. And their specialty is really commercial lighting. I don't know if you know this, Grambo, but you talk to Bo or any of the other guys at 5'8", and most of the sales for Dutch Lighting Innovations don't come from cannabis. I think it's less than 10% of their sales are cannabis sales. It's all
right, because tomatoes is a big thing. The Jug Dealers guys. And speaking of Bo, he dropped a neon sign on you. You didn't waste any time. They were doing that. Look at that sign. Bend over. Let's check out that sign.
They were super cool to give that to me. It's a one of one neon sign that they hooked me up with. But
yeah, I'll go over to those offices every now and then, and I'll see, and it's just like, holy crap! Fucking, I saw they've got a Decision one, a Lightning Start one, and you got the Decision one.
I wanted the Decision one because I like the skull in the background. It just looks cool, and the way that it lights up, like with the sunlight. So behind me, you can see there's a bunch of plants through the window. that's one of my veg greenhouses where I have all my genetics and everything else. But in the day when the sun shines through the greenhouse roof, it goes through the back of the sign and it looks super cool. So shout out to 5'8" and all those guys, Bo, Lee, Sammy, Mike, everyone there, and obviously Gabe, Jaron, you, the whole crew, man. I mean, even Trev in
you
the
guys
back.
can go over, just because I'm the one that built the website. So shameless plug for the Jug Dealers guys. Go over to jugdealers.shop if you guys want some stuff. I built that site. It's I'm proud. It's like, I built a website. Like, what Scotty got? He's got the Post Malone air freshener.
Post Malone air freshener, man. I'm throwing it.
That's great.
He even looks like a country. You've had that for years. You had that way before he started doing country. And he's like a country.
You ever get that kind of strain? You just order a Post Malone air freshener online kind of weed, man.
No.
Yeah, come on, man.
So
chat,
actually,
come on. What is something weird ass you bought online while you were high as fuck and we're surprised?
Put it in the chat. Let's see. What's the weirdest thing you ever bought online, Stone? Put it in the chat.
We did get 5'8" to buy a booth too for both days of DGC Cup, Scotty. So
you heard it here first. The Jug Dealers meets Dude Grows. That was cool. We had the Jug Dealers on Dude Grows not too long ago, Scotty. That was a great episode.
Yes, I smoked 3 joints with Grambo, man. You know what I'm saying?
They get hammered. Jaron gets hammered in the comments because he always talks. You think Scotty interrupt this is a thing? Jaron interrupt this is on another planet.
I have never been hammered so much as when I've had Bugby on. They were, dude, my crowd and Bugby's crowd, they're not the same crowd, it turns out. Yeah, man.
There's a lot of crossover there. There's a lot.
There's huge, man. Like, me and Bugby could do a show together and be freaking awesome, man. Because
you did pretty well. You did an episode together. He doesn't get jokes. He's not a big comedy fan.
No, there's people like that in the world that don't have any sense of humor, man.
They become scientists,
man. Yeah. Nah, man, but I don't know why that's controversial. I think it's freaking amazing that there's somebody that shows up and he's sponsored by a university and he's got all sorts of equipment, legit equipment, and does A/B testing. And is it going to be right all the time? Dude, I seen this thing. I was going to put it on the show, Grambo. 75% of peer-reviewed research that gets published can't be repeated. Google, it's called the replicability crisis.
Isn't that the peer review? Isn't the peer review supposed to be the duplication?
It's supposed to be, man. You know what I mean?
So it's I'm like, yo, Kyle, will you duplicate this thing? Come over to my house. And he just turns the switch himself.
Yeah. Well, with that record, though, man, and we're talking about universities and published stuff, and that's the business Bugby is in. With a record like that, you can't just because Bugby says it, man, you can't just take it as fact, man.
And the reason because I'm just Grambo. I'm no researcher. I'm not like a master. I got 15 years growing, but I'm no grow scientist. And it's literally knowing Kyle and knowing Jair, having spoke to Jair from Gavita.
I appreciate that.
Well, because you don't even put your UV on, but literally Kyle, Bo, Kyle, and Jair convinced me. I was like, all right, I will say in public that I disagree with Bugby's findings. You know how hard it is to disagree
California,
with Bugby?
you found me out, man.
Well, Jair's looking for people too, man. He's looking for people to give data who can get stuff tested. And, I was one of those people that stepped up and was like, yeah, I'll, buy these lights and put them in my room and actually be honest if I see a difference, and I have seen a big difference. So those guys are really smart. I mean, anyone else who's in lighting doesn't compare to their experience, and they come from way back in the day. They have, as they're going to be releasing Grambo some under canopy lighting too, which is pretty cool. So
I got to witness the Jair hysteria in Vegas. I knew who Jair was, and I understood, like, this is a guy, he co-founded Gavita. This guy's legit. But when I saw all the other people lined up to talk and shake the ring of Jair and talk lighting with him, I was convinced. I was like, all right, the man speaks the truth. Then I met you. Like, I've known you. You're one of my oldest friends in Colorado. We met back in the John Doe radio days, but we re-met at the Cup last year and was like, yo, you're still in the game. You're still in the game. What's up?
Been in the game, man. Yeah. Yeah, so we, with Gavita, it's funny because they were making great lights, and then everything kind of got exported to China, and the quality of them went down significantly. And Jair,
I believe it's pronounced Gina.
yeah,
Gina.
yeah, Jair basically specializes in like actual lighting, right? So you're talking HID, you're talking HPS. LED was something that they were testing at Chlorophyll back in the day. I remember it was there in probably 2016, and Bo was like, "Dude, you got to check out this LED light that we're producing," and it was like the brightest white light you had ever seen. And this was in like the Next Light days when they were just coming out, and there was also lights that were purple and pink spectrum. And that was pretty much it. This is before HLG. This is before some of the biggest LED companies out there. And Dutch Lighting has stayed true to providing kind of all different spectrums of light for the grower. Now with their LEDs, you have to have 220 or 240 volt in order to run them. So for the home grower, it's not the most ideal, but that's also not their market. Like I said, they're selling most of their lights to some of the largest like ornamental flower facilities in the world. And like in Holland, they have millions of square feet of greenhouse where they're running their LEDs or their HPS lights to grow like petunias and tulips and all these different kinds of flowers. So it's very,
I send
very
people
cool.
over to the Jug Dealers store. If you were to try to buy lighting over there, just be noted, it is only $240. That's why I also run HLG. They offered me some DLI lighting, and I don't have the means to run those sons of bitches. Can I throw another not selfish but another public service announcement out there while I'm thinking about it, guys? I'm gonna go full screen on this one. All of our friends are getting deleted off Instagram, right? Your old buddy Grambo, I go through the terms of my job is to read the terms of service of YouTube, read the terms of service of Instagram, and I have a theory on why so many of our cannabis friends, there's groups that can post all the flower all day, and there's the people that don't. One of the biggest red flags that Instagram does is when you get a strike or something and you screenshot it and you post bitching about it. That's one of the number one against. You are not allowed to share your inside communications with Instagram. And I think that you guys posting, hey, I got a strike, I got a thing. I have a theory that I don't see a lot of people posting those and their accounts are never getting busted. So I'm just throwing that out there. I was talking with can't remember who I was talking. Shout out if you're in the chat. Let me know. I can't remember. I'm on that Scotty weed today. I can't remember shit right now. And so just on Instagram, take your lumps. Scotty always says these guys are nice enough to give us a platform, man. Back in the 90s, there was no way to get your message out there, get your sales out there, everything. YouTube, Instagram, all these Twitter, they've given us a platform. Respect what it is. And if you get dinged, don't post about how you got dinged, because I think when you get flagged in review, that's what's getting so many accounts banned. Off my rant. That's a public service announcement. I know not everyone reads the terms of service. I get paid to read it, and I have a theory. So
Grambo, I just got a text from someone who's watching, and who's watching right now is Bike. So shout out to Bike. We were just talking about John Doe Radio and Green Labs back in the day, and Bike was a big
all
part
comes
of that.
Together. I like when the Dude Grows started. I remember Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think John Doe Radio is one of the influences on Brett that got him to start.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
So I always said if you combine Howard Stern, Joe Rogan, and the John Doe Radio Show, you get the Dude Grows Show. Those were the three big influences
I'll give them the shameless plug. So if you guys want verified, legitimate clones and seeds, go to getseedsrighthere.com. Getseedsrighthere.com. That's
and what's funny about
site,
that?
And
it all comes full circle. I had Bike on like probably 12 episodes, 20 episodes ago, and I don't know if it's still active, but code GRAMBONI will get you a discount at Get Seeds Right Here. You can type in GRAMBONI and you might get 10% off over there. I don't get any.
And if not, reach out to him on Instagram and he'll hook you up. Bike has been in a long time. He's one of the OGs as far as, being in the scene and really making sure that everything that you get is verified. But I've gotten a lot of genetics from Bike and I've been more than happy with him. So he's very reasonable and is not going to gouge you. And a lot of the stuff that he has, you can't get anywhere else.
The best episode I ever had on this show got 7,000 views. It was the Bike episode because verified clones, verified genetics. We always say our buddy JR Token, if you want the emergency, if you want the cherry paloma, hit up JR. If you want anything else, hit up Bike.
Yeah, hit up Bike. That's his specialty. And obviously JR is amazing too for the community and the things he's done. The cherry paloma became an absolutely huge staple in the community. So I mean, I grow it, Scotty grows it, you grow it, and it's all different. So I shout out to JR too. Great dude.
I'm gonna put
Big
my
Grambo,
code in there.
man.
Type in code
Grambo.
Gramboni.
We was talking about like John Doe Radio influenced the dude and stuff like that. Probably I think Howard Stern probably influenced me, because I used to be a plumbing and air conditioning contractor back in the day, and I have him on in like earphones all the time. So man, so that's like the show's kind of modeled after that a little bit. But what about you guys?
Who in chat remembers the 3-hour Dude Grows
show? That's what it started. But those are so, like, as far as
times you guys would just turn off, you guys would just go away and you just play music. And 5 minutes of music. And Scotty's parodies. Once again, go over to the J Maestro channel. Scott actually got Howard Stern's parody guy to come over and make those parodies.
Wow.
I did, man. I did. That was cool. That guy's still cool, man. But what about you guys, man? Eli Braden.
Give a shout out. Eli Braden. Yeah. Shout out to that dude.
But could you think of like 3 influences that you all had?
In cannabis specifically, or just podcast wise?
Howard Stern. No, in general.
I mean, Howard Stern back in the day on Sirius Radio for me was huge. I haven't listened to him in years, but let me think of some other ones.
Yeah, I just wonder, man. Grandmothers, they don't have to be like a radio or whatever. I don't know. It's just curious, man.
Well, I like I said, I pride myself on being one of the first DGC, and for real, I was prepping to come to Denver. I needed to learn how to grow all the cannabis, and John Doe Radio, Dude Grow Show, and Adam Dunn Show were my like 3 hardcore. Those were my. I remember driving the Zamboni. That's when I was dealing with opioids, and I'd be going through opioid withdrawal, hating life, just thinking of greener pastures in Colorado, get it out of that scene. And and so now I'm so pleased to having co-hosted on 2 of those shows and been a guest on Adam's podcast several times and just hang out over at Adam's a lot. It's a big point of pride. It's like imagine Adam Dunn is no Howard Stern, right? But it's kind of like that to me, where it's like, dude, like when I told my ex-wife,
a real influencer, man, he's legit.
When I told my ex-wife that I was the 3rd guy on Dude Grows, she legit was just like, what? Because she knew I swear to God, Scott, after my divorce, I couldn't listen to the Dude Grows theme song, just smoking and growing, and I would get I'd get misty-eyed. I was like, oh God, my dream grow, because it was like an emotional part of building my grow room and building all this stuff. And so when I told her, I was like, you know what my new job is? She's like, I'm guru on Dude Grows. She knew guru. She knew I'm guru. She's like, what? How does that happen? I go, I don't know, dude. It just happens. Life happens sometimes.
Life does. You know what it is? You grow into it too, because you didn't know nearly what you know about growing as you do now. Man, I call it imposter syndrome, and you're like, holy shit, no, I better go home and learn that stuff, man.
But when you have the coolest friends in the world, like all my friends, it's all we do is talk, grow, smoke. It's, my aunt used to always say, she's like, you think, because she was kind of anti-weed back. She was, back in my day of smoking in middle school and high school. And she goes, Josh, you think anyone's ever going to pay you to smoke pot and make your little doodles? Yes, and while I'm sitting there making thumbnails, I always go, dude, I'm getting paid to smoke weed and make little doodles.
Did you think that you ever would, though, back in the day? Where, arrogant little kid? Like,
I was going to be a musician. I was going to be the next Pantera. I was going to be Plant Terra. Shout out to Casa Del Wacko wants to start a parody metal band called Plant Terra. That's great.
So, I mean, out of all that, with music and everything, biggest, nothing comes to mind, sir. Like, I Post Malone, man. I Post Malone everything, man. In my heart.
It was definitely a little bit. It was a little bit of a Rogan effect. So for me, it was Rogan was a stand-up comedian. he was a podcaster and he did the UFC. And so for me, being a multi-talented person, I was like, why can't I be a podcaster, a musician, and a comedian? And I'm on my way.
I'd say Rogan too. I mean, he was super pro weed back in the day when you really weren't. He was only on YouTube.
We're not talking 2025 Rogan. We're talking 2016
it's
Rogan.
still the same
I'm talking
thing.
2012 Rogan, man. 2011 Rogan. Not
Fleshlight.
No.
Shout out to the Fleshlight.
that was awesome.
I'll never forget Joe Rogan's story. He's like, hey man, you want a fleshlight? And the guy's like, sure, I don't care. I'll take one. He looks through a box. He goes, oh shit, I only have alien pussy. Is that okay?
12-inch with balls, man.
With a straight face, he's like, I only have alien vaginas. Would you still want one?
All right, but here's the point, man. He was the first guy that got famous from hanging out and having real conversations with people. Started out with just him and his friends, and they'd hang out for 2 or 3 hours. And he'd be like, dude, it's kind of fun hanging out with these guys for a couple hours, And it morphed into something a little different. But man, that is what we try to do, specifically on the Saturday show. Hopefully it's fun to hang out with everybody.
We had Chip Baker on. Do you know Chip Baker, Kyle? He's over with Cultivate.
I think I do, yeah.
Yeah, he's a friend of Gabe's. He's a friend of Scott's. And we had him.
I know him through
a little
Marshall.
nervous.
Yeah,
we got him baker than all holy fuck. He took He's not really a dabber. He took
He's not a dabber
dabs.
normally.
So we give a guy who doesn't dabs, and then turn cameras on him and say, yeah, go. And he said some controversial stuff. There was a lot of love for Chip Baker this week.
That's what I'm saying, man. He said shit where I'm like, oh my God, you stood for something. You have an opinion about something. You're not supposed to do that now. And I'll be damned. People loved him. People really loved him. It's nothing for just being honest and passionate.
Shout out to the poos and goos. That's my favorite line. You fucking organic growers with goddamn strip mine poos and goos thinking you're organic. How many seagulls died in your goddamn grow?
Yeah, I gotta listen back to that one, man.
It was
the guy's cool though, man. Hey, it takes all.
Oh, what up, Tops is here. What up, Tops?
Yo,
you tuned in.
Yeah, man.
That's all, buddy. Yeah.
Do we have like a way of judging? I mean, I was thinking about it, like the most fair way to judge these competitions. I was gonna maybe do a short form on it for Dude Grows because it is tough, man. How do you? I don't know. Do you have any ideas? We have it where everybody can see each other's weed. You get to pick it up. You can probably, if you go and scope the tables enough, find your own weed and then go tell everybody to go put all their tokens in there, So it is a little bit of a flawed voting system, but I'm curious if, and in the crew, everybody in the chat, who does it right, man? What weed competitions have y'all been to where it's, where the voting is done really cool? And do y'all have an opinion on it?
One. What do you think about that, Kyle? That's a good question.
I mean, that's been the conversation for the past 4 weeks for, everyone in the circle, really, between Tops and Gabe and some of the other people, is like, what is the most fair and best way to do this? And I think in honor of the whole, movement of DGC, that it's left to the people, right? Like, we could have a judges panel, we could have like hash experts who are judging people's stuff, but the whole fun part about the DGC Cup, in my opinion, is that you get to try everyone's stuff. And in terms of like having friends vote for you, or telling them that's your jar and go vote for it, I think that's a pretty, I mean, I don't know anybody who has enough people on their side to be able to say, hey, here's 30 people or 40 people at the DGC Cup that I know that will just vote for me, right? Unless you bring a crew of people and you're not really from the DGC, like, yes, that could happen, but I think it's really more of an honest voting than it is actually, corrupt in any kind of way. And I think more so than any other event where you have a judges panel where they're like, oh, we all like this guy and we know he makes the best hash and let's all vote for him. This is much better in my opinion, because you're not leaving it to 10 to 20 judges to make the decision. You're leaving it to hundreds of different people, and we're going to keep it that way, obviously, for the hash bash. Leave it up to the people to try everyone's stuff. And if we do sense that there is some kind of cheating or insider job kind of thing, then we'll call that out and make sure that we're monitoring. But yeah, no, I mean, I think with anything, you're always going to have people that try to get more votes or whatever. And even last year, I mean, DGC Flower Cup, I I think that there was a lot of votes that were spread out, right? I mean, I know Tops and the winner of the event came in
Right.
very, very close. But Tops didn't have, or the winner of that didn't have a bunch of friends that just showed up out of nowhere and
No,
were like, "Hey, let's vote." That just
no,
doesn't,
I'm not specifically talking about our event.
No, of course, yeah.
I'm thinking just in general, how do you like the most fair way to run one of those things, man, especially you guys, because how many freaking dabs can you take? I mean, at least you can smoke a lot of hits out of the one. No, but for real, you can smoke a lot of hits out of a one. Okay. You can be like, I never smoked so much. I smoked 70 different kinds of weed out of the one. You ain't smoking 30, 40 dabs, I don't think, man. Different types.
I might. I've had this Puffco for a long time. I'm going to make an announcement. If you come to the DGC Cup, and I'm going to give this away Sunday night. I just decided. I've had this Puffco. I love my Dr. Dabber. I love it with all whole. And I sit and I have my fucking right here on my shelf. I always sit right here. You guys have seen. You can go back episode after episode and you'll see that damn Puffco just sitting there. I'm too lazy to go to the post office. I wanted to give it away, so I'm going to use it all Sunday at the Hash Bash. And at the end of it, fucking whoever wins, I'm giving you my goddamn Puffco. I'm adding it to the prize pool.
Well, there's going to be a lot of Puffco stuff at the Hash Bash. I'll just say that. They're
all right. Well, I'm giving one away for free, so someone's getting one. If the winner already gets one, we'll find someone. You're going to win Grambo's Puffco. God damn it.
That's awesome. Weird, man. We should get it engraved or something, Grambo. Get a special wrap on it, or
I'm in.
There'll
be a lot of Grambo DNA on it. That's kind of close.
Grambo's Puffco, man. .com.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean,
me and Scotty collect URLs.
I'll probably have Puffcos cheaper than anyone else. Like, I'm a distributor for them, and my bread and butter is not markup on devices. So I think I'm going to put a lot. I'm going to piss off a lot of people as far as if they sell them, because I'm going to sell.
And smoke a lot of Potamus. I haven't forgot. Smoke a lot of Potamus. He's from my old stomping grounds. I've promised him the elephant pipe.
Can I ask chat, man? I gotta ask chatter. Do you guys get as high off of those devices? Any kind of one of those devices? Dabex, Puffco, Cardi B. Then you do off a rig.
The Cardi B rig, we'll call it.
The rig just gets me so much higher, man, and I don't get
Kyle,
it, man.
You drop that on us. I'll let you reiterate, because it's surface area and thermal mass, right?
Correct. Yes. So the real key is that when you're heating up let's say a quartz nail, the surface area of it and the actual heat is way more even. So like with a Puffco or any other e-rig, it'll say, let's say 550 degrees on it or 600 degrees. But the problem is that when you actually, put the dab in the nail and it melts, you're not getting nearly the same even heating, because it'll start to cool down the heating element. So with the Puffco, for example, their 3D XL chamber rips better than any other device on the market, besides maybe the Dr. Dabber Switch, the newer one. That thing really rips. But when you compare portability of the Switch versus the Peak Pro 3D XL, it doesn't compare. The 3D XL is way more easy to carry around. But yeah, it's just
Why
simple.
Do you never carry it around to my house when you show up, man? Hell, man. No, I want to see this thing. Somebody gave me a Puffco. It was like one of the earlier versions, and I wasn't like a super fan of it. It kind of can't remember exactly what I didn't like about it, but I'd like to see. You said there's different ones out there, because Banner loves that Dabex. He shows up with that thing does he not? And no, it's a Dabex, right, Grambo?
I have a Dabex. Yeah. So here's the downside. And I love Dabex. They sponsor Adam's show. I have a device of theirs. I use it. What I don't like about the Dabex is that with my hash, or like even the hash that that you have, Scotty, the Cherry Paloma, if you have hash that's really wet, it will get sucked through basically the atomizer, which goes into a collection chamber below. So you have to be very specific. Like with diamonds, it rips great. With rosin, it rips much better than with very like
Diamond.
really wet live resin.
Diamonds.
Yeah.
But yeah, each device has its pros and its cons. Like the DabX, they need to fix the design of the inner O-ring. I've had 3 of their devices, and each time the inner O-ring has been blown out, as we call it. Adam's like, "Oh, you had another blowout," and it's like, "Yeah, dude, I
Blew out your
smoke a
O-ring
lot of
again.
hash, and you got to like fit it back in there and whatnot." Now, their whole selling point is that the smoke goes down. And basically the reclaim goes down into this tray in the bottom of it, and the smoke, instead of going through the glass directly, the reclaim goes down and the smoke goes up, so that you're not clogging your glass as much. So it's all personal preference. Again, I mean, the Carta even has its own issues as far as like the Carta 2 and it burning out after a certain amount of
there's
rips.
the Carta, there's the Focus V, there's the Puffco, and the DabX and Dr. Dabber. I think those are the top 5, right?
Focus V is Carta. Carta is just the product under their
top
brand.
4, like I said.
It's Dr. Dabber, Puffco, DabX, and Focus V obviously is probably it's really top 3. It's Dr. Dabber, Puffco, and Focus V, who makes the Carta.
Shout out to the Dapper Dabber.
And there's a million others.
If you don't have a YouTube, you need a YouTube channel. I would watch the Dapper Dabber.
Oh yeah,
hey,
he's actually good. I know. I think I've seen his channel. So I have a call with the founder of Focus V this week, and I'm going to try to do a little bit of a facing the big people up against each other. But
Tyler Keenan, I see you, buddy. I don't like to interrupt the flow of conversation for shout outs, but my man's tipped 3 times. Thank you, Tyler K.
Yo, look in the chat though, man. It's a lot of people do dig the rig, man. E-nail,
everyone. The informal poll definitely. Rig
Trailblazer 710. I'm just looking over here, man.
I mean, I was the dude who was rolling around with the rig and the torch in my car while I was driving, and yeah, that was just the way that you did it, man.
Puffco.com. Yeah, baby.
Sorry, see, I'm a chain smoker. I've never been like a giant dab. There's a meme that the DGC made right when I first showed up, and it's a baby with a beard, and it says, "When Grambo wants a dab." Because like I like to take 100 tiny dabs throughout the course. I'm a chain smoker. I oat one and over and over and over and over again, and so the e-rigs are perfect for me. And so I'm a big e-rig guy, but I would never, ever stand. Like if someone says dab rigs are better, I go, yeah. They're much better for sure. Of course, I don't want to carry a torch either.
No, and back in the day, I mean,
the torch
tech
is the next level though, man.
The tech was so bad,
dude. Get a good torch. The first month I moved here, my buddy had a creme brulee torch. Remember, like everyone's using the creme brulee torches. It exploded in his hand, and he had this gnarly monkey paw for like the rest of his life because of dabbing.
It's not funny.
And so get a Blazer Big Shot.
It's not funny, but the way you said that, monkey paw.
Well,
yeah, monkey paw.
I say it to. Cool, we should get sponsored by the Blazer Big Shot. We should tell dude. Like that's the only torch. What do you think?
Blazers. For sure. It's the only. I mean, all the heady boys use it. And there's a whole like
Blazer Big Shot.
There's an entire group of people that not necessarily this community, but they're extremely heady, and they will only use very specific products down to like the the dabbed dunker that you'll dunk your nail into. They won't hit a nail if it's a China nail. They won't smoke hash out of anything that's not a Myron jar. I mean, there's a lot of that.
He ain't smoking with me and another old fart, man, because another old fart's busting out the big old plumber's torch, man. That dirty propane, man.
That's what they use at 5'8", the Jug Dealers, when they take dabs, they use an old school acetylene torch. They start it with a Bic lighter. It's like, what are you doing? Or a man. Acetylene.
Well, and propane will actually ruin your nail, and the reason is because of how hot it gets, and how quickly it will heat up the nail. So your nail will be chazzed out from a propane torch versus butane. Yeah, butane is the way to do it. And even like down to like the brand of butane torch. I mean, there's a lot of different factors in it.
See, that's That's why I want you to make my hash, man. You know,
Yeah,
you want people that are detailed like this, man. All right.
yeah, I mean, down to the
Mm.
jar type, man. I mean, there's stuff that leaches into your hash depending on what you're doing and everything else. There's a lot of intricacy, and this isn't necessarily the demographic that even understands like this, but I'm trying to teach it. Like this is a thing in the industry where you have people that are just absolute snobs who are spending hundreds, $200 a gram on rosin, that everything has to be where it is, and they have to know, okay, this is the exact micron, it's first press, it was taken this amount of days. And with what I mean, you guys know what I'm working on. I can't talk about it yet, but with what I'm doing, it's a
Which is
very
driving
specific.
me personally crazy. I just say words. I get on camera and I just say all the things, like when I first started this stream, I used to scroll Tinder during the stream. I'm like, guys, look at this I messed with. I just blurt things out, and the fact that I can't blurt out things drives me nuts, Kyle.
I know. There's a lot of people involved, man. I mean, Tops is involved. Obviously, you guys are involved, and some very, very big people that we're going to be, collabing with and working with. Yari's involved from Diamond Mine. Gabe's involved. Lots
You
of.
talked to me about the around 420 doing a thing. Do you want to talk about that? That there might be a thing, or should we wait to announce that?
I mean, there's going to be a lot of things that happen. I mean, Hash Bash, DGC Cup. There's going to be a lot of, a lot
Okay.
of good stuff.
We'll wait.
420 is an interesting time because I've had to be careful about releasing everything in that date because it's going to get drowned out by everyone else that's doing things for 420.
Well, we were just talking about the prices and all that sort of stuff. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, I will be doing a massive 420 sale for any of my current people that
he's going to be building up a whole crap load of inventory. So definitely, if you've ever been dragging your heels on checking out the Tropicana, April is the time because there's going to be lots of inventory and lots of price reduction.
Correct. Lots of fun stuff going on. I mean, with what I'm gearing up to do, anyone who's here now is obviously going to have special access and special perks as far as like I can't talk too much, but there's a lot of things that I'm going to be doing for the people who are here now, and you guys know who you are. I mean, Alicia and Chonky Nugs, and I know Cannabis Vibes in there. A lot. I mean, I can name off 30-40 people right now, but I won't do that. Farmhouse Dank, Farmhouse Dank's a big supporter. Shout out to I won't say his real name, but shout out to him. He's a real good dude. High Plains Bud.
Don't use his, as Scotty says, don't use his Christian name.
Yeah, I mean, all these people are people that are also running like Grow Dots and Recharge and HLG and New Millennium and all of these different things. Obviously,
Cannabis Vibe. He said that his secret is New Millennium and Recharge.
Yeah, sauce your base. If I was you guys and you're on a budget,
sauceyourbase.com. I got it, Grambo. This one's on.
Oh, that's a good one actually. I would use Grow Dots personally. I mean, I ran Scotty's stuff that was just Grow Dots and Recharge, and it was some of the best stuff I've ran, third party for a long time. So the proof is in.
If you guys need a commercial or an endorsement, we'll say, for Grow Dots, Scott's Grow Dot weed, Tropicana's Kyle has run as much hash as anybody I've ever met in my life. And Scott, your shit was terptastic just from Grow Dots.
Yeah.
You're very Grambo, you're very sweet to say that. No, you're very kind to say that, man.
It's the truth, brother.
No, it was.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to everybody and say, just to give Scotty props. It was actually like really, really fucking fire.
You wouldn't do that?
No,
we were good enough friends. Hang on a second,
okay, maybe I would,
right?
But not here.
He dropped an actually. He dropped an actually, Scotty.
So Gabe from Jug Dealers, I gave him a small jar of the Cherry Paloma that was Grow Dots and Recharge, and he was like, "Dude, this is stupid fire." All my other friends that I've given it to.
I love the Jug Dealers and Dude Grows collect. I love the crossover there.
There's all no good possible way that you're going to be everything to everyone. Grow Dots is for a certain type of person, a convenience-minded person. This is a hobby, man. I'm more into building the grow or the environment, or actually really messing with all my buckets and all that stuff. So I wasn't into playing with the fertilizers wasn't my passion, man. So just having something simple like this works for me. But man, if you want to really tweak shit, man, it's cool to have 12 bottles to fuck with,
Yeah, or just use like I said, the base is what it is, right? Like I can use base salts and I can grow good weed. If you guys, like I said, if you're on a budget, it might not make sense to purchase the full New Millennium line. I mean, I probably am a very unique person in the sense of I do like pay for it, but I'd say if you're just a hobbyist, use grow dots, use recharge. I was even showing Scotty. I was like, here's my Amazon history here, and I'm scrolling back to like 2016, 2017, and I was buying recharge. So I've used it forever. I was buying it when it was in the white buckets with the blue tops.
I love it.
before they-
Shout out to the
microbes are a no-brainer, man. Definitely, that is a huge. If you want to talk a little grow, man, that is something where you want to talk about like having imposter syndrome. Somebody hooked me up with that recharge recipe, like at least the basic one. It was like one of 4 recipes I was trying, and I was like, man, this shit is amazing. And I went and it was so good. I started telling people, but I really didn't understand how all that shit worked, man.
Yeah, I mean, still in my scanner here is the sauce your base chart, and I scanned it for a bunch of people who didn't have it. So if anyone needs it, the sauce your base chart from 5.8. If you're using grow dots or recharge and you want to try the New Millennium additives, just send me a message and I can forward you the actual scan of it that you can print and put on your wall or whatever.
Go over to JugDealers.shop and buy something, so that way the guys, they paid me to make their website, and I always speak of imposter syndrome. I'm not really a website guy per se. I've made my own websites, so when they entrusted me to make JugDealers.net and JugDealers.shop, I was like, oh, shit, I better do a good job.
We entrusted you, Grambo.
I feel bad. I feel bad, Grambo, because I'm going to sell it all. I'm going to sell it all too. And I actually paid a web guy to do it, and it's custom coded from the ground up. And I don't want to make your web job look like an amateur hour thing. But as you know, I'm going to be one of the only other people to sell New Millennium direct to consumer that's online. Some other people do, but it's one big family here. And I'll also be helping Scotty and selling recharge and grow dots, and it's really like the best products out there. I'm trying to get into the hands of the consumer. So that's the bottom line.
Yes. Well, you guys, usually I try to stick to about an hour, and we blew right into 90 minutes. We did it.
Did we really?
This was a banger.
It was good hanging, man. Good hanging. Sorry about my internet. Nice that it cooperated at the end, right?
Well, it gave us a chance to hang out and talk with Kyle.
Your mailman Grows said, is sauce your base straight New Millennium recipe or grow dots plus New Mill? So sauce your base is basically using the New Millennium additives with whatever base nutrient you want. Now, I recommend.
So it's like,
run grow dots.
If you want to use the winter equinox and summer and everything, that's New Millennium's base. They're not loyal to that. They say, you want to use grow dots, you want to use GH, you want to use Athena.
Because they're good additives, man.
Yeah, throw the winter, the ruby, the carbo. That's the holy trilogy, is the winter, carbo, and ruby.
I'll give myself a shout out, man. I do that ScottyReal420 channel, and one of the
you're talking about this channel right here.
I don't know, but as our organics always cleaner, and man, right on. But I wrote one this weekend, man, about the organics. It really does matter where that stuff comes from, man. Whether it's organics or synthetics, there's different grades of chemicals that they start with. And then there is all sorts of different places where they mine this stuff from, the organic stuff. And it is not clean a lot, or it's not always necessarily clean. I know it feels good because it says organics, but man, you got to be careful with that shit.
I'm telling you, that's my argument. I'll argue with some of the big organic people like Miles from Build a Soil and Weed Should Taste Good, and him and I'll get into it a little bit about the source of a lot of this stuff. And I mean, you got to be careful is all it is. Cause like with organics, at least in food, there's an entire industry and regulatory body, USDA organic, that, actually does verify. In cannabis, it's like, you can say it's organic and it's not. So just be careful of, the sourcing of where they're getting their things. And I would even ask for like a third party COA or test, on all of the different batches.
Yep. Heavy metals analysis has to be available.
And shout out to Raider Vader. Raider Dank Vader just
Hey,
popped in. He says, "What's up?
Making the
Delicious
pizzas,
pizza,
man.
buddy." Like
God,
Banner
how
brought us
cool.
some
How
Raider Dank
cool.
Vader pizza at the bakery a few days ago. God damn, it was good.
Yes.
Hell
Excellent.
yeah.
Way to go
So
pizza
I'll
here in Fort
say
Collins.
go follow ScottyReal420. I mean, follow the Dude Grows show.
Hey.
Dude Grows Shorts, ScottyReal420. That's where you can find Scotty. The main place
Word.
that, because Kyle, you might be 10% of my goddamn DMs. Or where can I get a hold of Kyle? I go, you're already on Instagram, man. You're halfway there.
Yeah, hit up
Go on
me or hit
Instagram.
up Taking Tops too. I mean, he's the only, I'd say, distributor that I actually deal with. So if you guys need anything, hit us up. We're happy to take care of you. And there's a lot of stuff coming. Like I said, this is like the end of an era here, and we're leveling up. So now's the time to get in.
It's canna with one N, canna, and it's terpicana extracts. There's a few other you're not somebody until you get an interpreter page. Once people are starting to mimic your stuff and trying to scam. So there's a couple scam terpicana ones that use your logo, but terpicana extracts, that's you. And go over to Real Growers on Amazon, buy yourself some recharge. That's the best place to find that. And
realgrowers.com, because you can get all sorts of discounts there, man. Right?
There you go.
Hey, yeah. And
Grambo, you don't have a coupon code, do you? We need coupon code Grambo, man.
Well, you know what? It's Cortez. Me and Cortez share like an identical audience. And I was like, if I have a coupon code, I'll take some food out of Cortez's mouth. You guys take care of me.
It wasn't
At
gonna
the Dude
give
Grow
you
show, you got
for it. Just give you a coupon code, man.
Still, I don't want to take bread out of Cortez's mouth. But yeah, thank both of you guys. I appreciate you. Scotty, is so awesome for you to come on. Terpicana Kyle, thanks for coming on,
guys.
A little internet,
Lots more to come.
Internet secondary thing. So yes, thank both of you.
Yeah, DGC Cup, guys, get your tickets. Seriously, the hash bash and the flower event. I mean, Scotty, are you able to talk about the venue at all? You went on, or is that not public yet?
You know what, man? I probably am able if I actually knew anything about it, or yeah, I really don't know.
Didn't you go there?
I tell people in the DMs, I say, don't ask me or Scott. Me and Scott do the podcast. We spend all our time on the podcast. Brett does.
We have exciting news on the venue. Okay, so stay tuned. But I don't know what I don't want to make.
So if you want to meet, no worries. If you've ever wanted to meet any of the Jug Dealers guys, any of the Dude Grows guys, Terpicana, Tops, we're all going to be here. Like everybody's going to be there. It's going to be sick.
Yeah, no, and it's
that would be awesome.
I'll just say the venue is going to be killer. It's going to be a great time, guys. Get your tickets.
There's a chance I might be saying funny things into a microphone upon a stage at the Dab Bar. I don't know what's gonna happen.
You're gonna have your own room to work, Grambo.
That's gonna be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it should be really cool. Honestly,
it's gonna be sweet. I pulled up the open mic list on my phone. I have the open mic list on my phone open because I'm gonna be hitting the mics this week, boys. It's gonna be crazy in June.
Nice.
Let's just say that.
All right, I'm looking in the papers. Okay. Looking for Grambo.
Yeah. Well, thank you both, and I'll see you, Kyle, very soon, and Scotty, I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see all you guys soon. Yeah. Much love, and thanks everyone for the support, and I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah, thank you, guys.
This was really fun. It was great to see everybody.
Hells yes.
Yeah, too many people to mention, man. Really great hanging everybody.
Too many. We'll pick out specifically Cannabis Vibe to end on. He's the man that made my theme song, and I am endlessly appreciated to him. All right, boys. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Beautiful, Grambo.
So you guys, I'm overwhelmed by the support once again. I got a shout out to LJ Jones. Thank you so much. Terpicana Kyle, once again, thank you. How did I not thank you? Thank you for the 10 gift sums. LJ Jones gave up like 20. Hookstergram gave up 5. Cody Whitaker gave up 5. We got Tyler. Guys, thank you so much. I endlessly appreciate it. Scotty always says Grambo needs a Grambo. I put all my effort into other people's content. I can't take this channel as seriously as I like it, but with help from you guys, I've been doing it, and it gives me a reason to look forward to every single Sunday. So thank everybody so much. This has been an amazing episode, and we'll see you guys on tomorrow for Dude Grows Grow Talk. Tuesday for Jug Dealers, Wednesday for Dude Grows, Friday for Dude Grows Grow Talk, Saturday for Dude Grows, and back on here on Sunday. 6 pieces of cannabis content a week, baby. Let's do it. GRAMBOlogue, thank you guys. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.
We're dropping knowledge on Grambo grows, talking about plants and how they go. Let's go. From seeds to the cure, we always smoke pure.